Welcome back to Stooge Stream. This is the WCPW Loaded Recap Show. I'm your host, the Knockout Fiona, and I'm joined by my intergender tag team review partner, the Stooge.
Welcome back for another episode. Let me just put a quick asterisk on this one. Anything that happened in Refuse to Lose, we spoke about on our Refuse to Lose special, so jump over there and have a look. There's going to be a little link somewhere on screen that you're looking at right now, but I'll throw it back to the host of the show, the Knockout Fiona.
That's it. We're here today for Loaded episode 12. We are 12 episodes and 2 pay-per-views in. Can you believe it? Well,
one special and one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. 14 weeks in already of WCPW.
I love it. And it just keeps getting stronger. So this episode was slightly shorter for loaded action because it did recap the massive Refuse to Lose special.
If you haven't caught that yet, you can still catch that on iPay-Per-View. Make sure you go grab the details. I believe it is ipayperview.com, or you can subscribe to What Culture Extra and you get it as part of your subscription. You just got to pay a little bit extra for it, but it's so worth it.
And then be sure to go back and listen to our recap show as well for some good color commentary. So Loaded episode 12. Well, like I said, it opened with a recap sort of promo package of all the action that happened at Refuse to Lose, catching you up.
With the amazing Jim Cornette and Jim Ross calling commentary, so I can rewatch that package over and over and over every day. The only line they missed, which they should have had in that package, was Jim Cornette's line about, "You think Matt Hardy can come here and delete Alex Shane, Jim?" That was missing. That should have been in there.
We are going to keep the Alex Shane dumping to a minimum this episode. We're not joined by G Banks, so I'm not going to buy into it. Although I think I've got that later in my notes. But let's get into the show and we'll see. So this episode of Loaded opened with the general manager, Adam Patchitti, backstage with a big smile on his face. So,
that's the heelish smile ever. Is heelish a word?
heelish?
Heelish. It is now.
Heelish.
The heelish smile ever. Thank you, Simon, for allowing us to make up wrestling words now, because heelish is now a word.
Exactly. Now, the reason for his smile is that all the right people won, quote unquote, at Refuse to Lose. So, of course, yes, Adam has gone heel, and his big smile is a smile of relief now that he is back in control, and Kirby did not come up
and win his title.
Yeah, exactly. So Adam then announced the Adam Patchitti Tag Team Tournament that will be getting underway shortly.
The AP Triple T.
AP Triple T, indeed. So this is, of course, to crown the new WCPW Tag Team Champions, which none other than the Hitman, Bret the Hitman Hart, introduced us to at Refuse to Lose.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to the tag team division. I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling. Some people like it, some people don't. I've always been a fan of tag team wrestling because it highlights multiple people at once, as well as when it's done right, it can tell a great story. Plus, think back, you have so many great tag teams of the past. Your Edge and Christian, your Midnight Express. Hi, Jim Cornette.
Oh, right,
yeah. Even the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty before they got to WWE. The tag teams is, in a way, in some ways, what creates some people. And Liam Slater, for instance, is getting a great rub from being in a tag team with Johnny Moss. So I love tag team wrestling, and I'm really looking forward to this tournament.
Exactly. I agree, Stooge. And being relatively newer to wrestling, although I've been watching it for, 9 years now, I've always really loved tag teams as well. I think it's, when they're done right, they get over so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can really tell their own stories. But anyway, speaking of Moss and Slater, let's get into the action. We left Adam Patchitti after that, by the way, going through all the tweets from his
so heelish.
adoring fans. Yeah.
Hashtag heelish.
So he wasn't going to be ringside. He was too held up on his mobs. Cell phone for our USA audience. So, in ring action, yes, we have a little intro to the tag team offering at WCPW with the team of Prince Armeen and Gabriel Kidd Kid, of course, is still in
So over.
servitude to Armeen, and yes,
so
over. We had Los Prospectiva with the not Draco. What's the other ones?
Lucha Archer.
Lucha Archer,
And
I always forget the other guy. Oh god, that's really bad.
Come on.
He'll come back to us.
Yeah, but we'll come back. Anyway, it's Los Prospectiva. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
And third tag team being Johnny Moss and Liam Slater. So this match under Tornado tag team rules, so anyone can tag anyone at any time. Doesn't have to be your own partner you tag to get in the ring. This was a little bit of a reprise of what we saw in Loaded episode 11, where we didn't have Prince Armeen and Gabriel Kidd, but we had Los Prospectiva and Johnny Moss and Slater,
and Mustache Mountain.
They were accompanied then by Mustache Mountain. This match I felt was a little bit more of a serious contendership. Now, is that a word?
Yeah, I think contendership is actually a word.
Then what we saw, the previous offering wasn't so comedy heavy, I think, because they're building up to the tag team tournament.
That's right. So this is more of a highlighting some of the tag teams going into the tournament, so you know who they are, and building little stories for the tournament. So, for instance, when we get to the end of the match, it's already building an inbuilt story to start the tournament with, which is very, very cool. So.
A couple of little spots coming to the ring. Alex Shane calls Prince Armeen the Turbinator of WCPW.
Dude, stop. Stop.
Kid had some new trunks on, which were very cute.
Which
with
had Prince Armeen's logo.
Yeah. Every week they just add something else to their
Just a little
story.
bit more.
Yeah, I really like it.
Just before we move on with their story as well, this reminds me of an old school wrestling story, right? In the modern era, you take something like this and burn it in a month.
Oh, yeah.
Like very quickly. You just burn through the story arc and it'd just be a little quick bump on the road and that's it. This is the old school way of very slow burning the story, letting it build its own heat, letting it actually get to something where it's meaningful. So when the fallout between Gabriel Kidd and Prince Armeen comes, it's going to mean so much more because he's been putting up with this crap for so long. It wasn't just like a week of him eating shit and then, now he gets to win. No, this is going to go for a while. And if they play it right, when they do start doing this, Gabriel Kidd should lose the first match.
Yeah. Yeah, because the crowd will want him to win so badly, yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but he's still under contract in the story, so that sort of holds him...
hostage.
Yeah, exactly. Los Prospectiva came to the ring accompanied by James R. Kennedy, carrying a football piñata.
Yeah, it was...
Like a soccer ball.
Yeah.
Sorry, football, soccer.
It's very cute. I love, again, they're layering the gimmick as well.
Yeah. And Johnny Moss and Liam Slater just came as themselves. No BS. Ready to punch on.
Liam Slater and Minnie Goldberg.
Minnie Goldberg, indeed. The crowd still chanted Lucha Fuckboys a bit, but, and sex offender to Prince Armeen.
Which is amazing.
He slays thousands of bitches, doesn't he?
But I love the fact that, you were, kind of going, oh, and, we had a laugh about it and so on. But it also means that they're over. They're over enough that the crowd wants to hate them and wants to chant at them and wants to... So that it's working. Whatever they're doing is working.
This is true. The crowd at WCPW in Newcastle, the awful people of Newcastle.
As Adam Blumpier likes saying, yeah.
No, the crowd they're fired up. They're a great crowd.
Amazing.
And let's face it, there's nothing worse than a live wrestling crowd being silent. If you're
Dead,
not getting over or heat... That's terrible.
If you've ever heard people going to Japan for the first time, they tell stories about they don't know what to do in the match because they don't hear anything.
Oh, there'd be rumblings, but not.
No, they just hear light applause and stuff, and then so they don't know how to react to the crowd because that's part of what they do for a living. So when the crowd's loud and you know exactly what they're feeling and the stick's getting over, it's working. If they're chanting at you, lucha fuckboys or sex offender, your stick is working. They're insulted by you, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
They're paying attention.
Well, Kidd started off in the ring with Moss, but then Armeen promptly tagged himself in. Then we swapped to Archer, got stuck in the ring for some power shots from Moss and Slater as they tagged each other back and forth. I've got some notes here of Kid disobeying Armeen, of course.
Yeah.
There was a nice little lock-up between Kid and Slater, showing off what Dave Bradshaw dubbed the future of British wrestling, showing off their
Oh, it is.
catch skills.
You're seeing two young wrestling geniuses who, in the next 5 to 10 years, are definitely going to be, future household names in the British wrestling scene. And we're getting to see the beginning of it. It's very cool. I like young talent as well, especially talent of this level, getting to see them develop and get better and better and better. And you're seeing that with Gabriel Kidd and Liam Slater. You're seeing them develop week on week on week and add new layers to their characters and add new aspects to their performances, be it as a performer, as a wrestler, as a talent. It's great. I love watching people develop, because when you see an established talent, they've got their gimmick, they've got their thing. Watching that gimmick develop, watching it become a solid thing is very cool,
considering they are still very young. I just think it was, I like to comment that Moss, every time he locks up with the younger guys, with Archer and Gracie, I remembered his name now. He looks like he's trying not to break them in half. A bit like Superman, interacting with a normal human being.
It reminds me of watching Bobby Lashley wrestle. It looks powerful, but if you can see through it, you can see his belly touching them. He's been as gentle as possible with the people around him because he knows his own strength. I think Johnny Moss knows his own strength and he's been as gentle as possible. Even on some of those snap suplexes that he does, he carries them. You just watch that snap suplex again, watch it slowly, and he actually carries them through it, so they barely touch the mat. It's him doing everything. It's actually quite cute how much he cares about the people that he's working with.
Yeah.
For someone that looks like a monster.
If he has a mean look on his face the whole time. I thought the action built up at quite a good pace in the ring. As I said, Kid disobeyed Armeen. At one point, Kid was in the ring, went for a tag, and tags Moss rather than Prince Armeen. Moss gets in the ring. Then at that point, Draco, El Draco, interferes, of course, because although he wasn't in the match, he's still a part of the Prospect stable, BX stable.
And then they get double Germans by
they attempt to slam Moss as a double, but he of course takes them both down with the back overhead German suplex.
Ridiculous. Two human beings, two fully grown men. This guy picks up two fully grown men and just tosses them like rag dolls. Hello, little doll.
Well, at that point, Armeen actually got in the ring and got a move over on Moss, which I thought was quite surprising. A nice spine buster.
A brilliant spine buster. Very shades of Batista there.
He went for the attempt of the pedigree, I think it looks like, with the underarm.
Underarm hook.
To which Moss reversed the massive reversal with the sort of sling slam.
Alabama Slammer.
Yeah.
Come on. But I've seen that twice in 2 weeks now. We saw that in an episode of Impact. And now we see it now. This was Hardcore Holly all over. Hardcore Holly used to do the best Alabama Slammers because clearly he's from Alabama. That's what it's named after. He
that looked like a big bump Armeen took. Armeen is a bit more solid than the other guy, so maybe Moss went harder on him, or maybe just...
No, I think Armeen can take it. He knows what he's doing. And again, if you watch it, it's actually quite safe. It's Moss doing everything. He pulls the momentum at the last second. He's he's amazingly safe. The only person Moss is ever going to hurt is himself.
Which he's proven and has done.
He won't hurt other people. And that was on that too. It looks massive. And I was like, oh! But then I kind of watched it again and went, oh, he's protecting him. But it looks huge.
Well, at that point, Moss had Archer slung up over his shoulders. A bit of shenanigans. I think he took out Gracie with Archer's feet. Slater climbed up the ring post and jumped over Moss, springboarding off Archer slung up on his shoulders, to a flying headbutt to Armeen, who was still on the canvas after that massive slam.
Can we just stop there for 1 second? No flying headbutts, please.
Oh,
please stop doing that.
Please, no.
Please stop doing that.
We're serious too.
Yeah. This is on a very, very serious
public
note.
Service announcement.
Yeah, 100%. Please stop doing the flying headbutt. The Dynamite Kid's
Benoit.
life was not great at the end because he had so many concussions from doing the flying headbutt. Chris Benoit, we don't forget that. And
He who shall not be named.
Yeah, and a lot of that's attributed to concussions throughout his life. Concussions which he gave himself from the flying headbutt a lot of the times. There's certain moves that just we don't need anymore in modern wrestling, and I think that's one of them. And please, I know you did it really safely. I saw that you were quite safe about it. You made sure you landed on them and stuff, but there's going to be times that you aren't, and not at your own fault. Please stop doing that. Please stop doing that.
Well, that aside, Slater didn't actually get anywhere anyway, because he Gracie snuck in for the tag and covered Armeen for the win.
Yeah.
So Los Prospectiva picked up another win coming out of
Undefeated.
that match. Yes, they are undefeated. So going ahead of the Patchitti Tag Team Title Tournament. Then at this,
Hey, get it right. The AP Triple T.
I've added another T to it. I think it should be quadruple T. Anyway, at this point we flash back again to Refuse to Lose with Bret Hart's segment where he opened the show, and more of Prospect because he was interrupted by James R. Kennedy and Prospect at that point. But this was showing how the whole
Refuse to Lose and the
tag team
tag team
titles
tournament.
came about. Yeah.
So if you want to know about that, go back to our Refuse to Lose special. The link is on screen somewhere now.
Then back to Loaded, we had a little backstage promo from Joe Coffey talking about his match again that Refused to Lose against Minoru Suzuki. How he had to push himself to his limits and rides go up
And step up in that match,
yeah,
clearly.
and he wasn't successful, but sort of what it meant to take a loss and where he's going to go from here, and he's not going to give up. He's going to keep fighting, and he's going in more determined. He's got a new sort of resolve, and left it a little bit open and enigmatic. So who knows what we're going to see next from the Iron Man?
I'm interested to see what happens going forward, and if you want to know what we thought about the match between the Iron Man and Suzuki, let's rewind the tape a second. Go back to our Refuse to Lose special. Links on the screen now.
All right, then we were back ringside with Primate. Is he Primate
Yeah.
or the Primate?
I don't know, I get confused. I think it's the
Interchangeable?
Primate. I
Yeah.
think it's interchangeable. You can call him whatever you want. It means the same thing.
The Primate, who was in ring action, I think he'd issued an open challenge
Yeah.
for whoever was brave enough to face him. Of course, Primate cannot be, one man is not enough to face the beast. Simon Miller actually came down with his training camp buddies. Simon, of course, who's training to be a wrestler.
At Al Snow's Wrestling Academy.
And he came down with a lot of enhancement workers, jobbers. Then now there were four young bucks from his...
No, they're not young. Don't say young
No, I
bucks. The
know.
young bucks are good.
That's an actual trademark tag team. Sorry, guy.
No, let's just say it was job times 4.
To which the crowd was not hesitant to point out.
No, the crowd was even screaming, jobbers, jobbers, jobbers.
So one by one, I think even at one point 2-on-1 attempted to go Primate, which ended unsuccessfully for all of them.
No, but there was some great, and even
Yeah.
Alex Shane made a point of this. Is like, is this an exhibition to show off Primate's arsenal? Because there was some great moves. The spear in the air, where he tackled that kid. I think that's the guy that played the security guard and also
Yes.
played, was it Rampage's training dummy in that
Yes.
montage and stuff?
Yes, the real life training.
Yeah. Yeah, he took that massive spear out of the air, and like Primate was just doing move after move, great move after move after move. The German 5-pack and it was like it just
He ended up rear naked choking that
the job again.
job number 1.
Yeah, emo job. Now this was the point of this, like, is to show just how much of a machine Primate is. 4-on-1 is a disadvantage to any man. I don't care who you are. Like, I used to be a security guard. 4-on-1, you're in trouble. Like, that's the way it works. You can't defend yourself because it's coming at you from different angles. and Primate just destroyed them. That's just showing like the power of this animal. Now, I think this is leading towards, and I really hope it is, because I'd love to see it, Simon Miller's in-ring debut, which will be awesome.
Against Primate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Who can slay the beast? Simon Miller can.
Well, once Primate had cleaned up ringside, he went running after Simon, so who knows?
Well, it makes sense, because his dad's coming back to Raw this week, so...
Goldberg is my dad. And also maybe this was part of the training schedule for these guys, you know. Week 10, taking a serious bump.
From a monster.
Putting over a monster. Enhancement working, 101. No, look, it was a bit
good.
of fun.
I liked it.
Yeah, and Primate has to get established as that uber heel.
This is, as I told you a few weeks ago, all it takes is one thing. Like a heel can lose match after match after match after match, and it just takes one thing to put them over again and make them serious. It was him choking out Susie and rah that made him the serious heel again. Him putting down 4 people makes him the serious monster again.
I would just like to see him now face a legitimate contender, not, you know, jobs every week.
And not Joe Coffey, because we've seen that.
No, we have seen that. I don't know, maybe another big international name.
Let's go, Simon.
We'll watch this space. Okay,
Let's
I
go,
know you want Simon. After that match, we then went backstage where Prospect were sitting in a room with lovely florally black and pink jackets, can I say? Lovely matching attire there, gents.
With James R. Kennedy.
James R. Kennedy is having a bit of a chat just with Gracie and Archer.
Yeah.
Saying, look, okay, you guys... because Patchitti has reclaimed his right mind, i.e. he's gone heel and he supports the heels, I'm pleased to let you know the ban on Prospect has been lifted. So you can now legitimately appear at WCPW, no more trying to break in shenanigans. And not only that, he also got the news that they will be first up on the tag team title tournament.
You got to get it right. Because you were the first tag team in WCPW.
Yeah, they were.
You're the first tag team in the WCPW tag team tournament. I like that. I thought that was cute. I'm like, that's a good paying homage to your first episode.
Exactly. And so the boys were excited to be top seed in the tournament. However,
the excitement goes away.
As they were talking, James R. Kennedy got an instant update, probably via Twitter.
The number 2 team in the WCPW Tag Team Tournament is, drumroll please,
who they will be facing? Los Prospectiva. Ew. Awkward.
That's going to be interesting.
At this point, Drake had joined them still dressed in Los Prospectiva gear.
Drake's not there.
That's right. It was El Draco.
El Draco joined them because he just happened to be there. And he's like, what? Oh, and then he said some stuff in Spanish.
So clearly he is going to have to find a tag team partner to join.
Why would he just have to get one of his tag team partners?
Oh. How's that going to work?
Well, there's 3 of them in his staple and there's 3 of them in Pros. What are you talking about?
This could open the door for some serious shenanigans if we have not seen enough already. Alex Shane is going to have his mind blown by the...
I can only see this playing out in one of 2 ways, right?
Yeah.
Way number 1, Adam Blumpier in a mask is the other member of Los Prospectiva.
That'd be cute.
That'd be cute.
Even though he's fired, but then it's
because
not Adam.
It's not Adam.
Adamo Blumpiedi.
Yeah, no, they'll call him like the French Connection or something. Like, I don't know. They'll find something.
Yeah.
The other thing I can see happening is only 2 of them will be in the ring at the same time, and one person will be sliding under the ring, taking a mask off, tagging himself in, going into the ring. The other person slides under the ring, puts a mask on, comes on the other side, tags himself in.
Shenanigans
so you have the 3 of them continuously swapping. So all 3 members of Los Prospectiva and all 3 members of Prospect get to wrestle in the match.
I did fail to mention during the previous tag team, yes, Alex Shane's putting over of Los Prospectiva was just getting a little bit out of control again.
Yeah.
He needs to
But
let
it's
it go.
great. I love how Bradshaw just rips him apart.
Yeah.
Like, that's please keep doing that, Bradshaw. Like, just put him back in his box and we can move on.
Yep. Well, speaking of moving on, that was just about the end of the show. Apart from a recap, a replay of the whole match, the internet title championship match at Refuse to Lose. Again, if you have not watched that, it features El Patron,
El
El Ligero, and Travis Banks.
The Kiwi Buzzsaw.
Kiwi Buzzsaw.
So it was just a 2-second one-line recap. It was a really enjoyable, great match. Establishes a new title in the company. Well worthy of the effort. And it was long as well. It wasn't a short, 5-minute, let's just run them in and out of the ring. It actually had some depth and length to it, and everyone got their shots in. But if you want to hear more about that and our thoughts and feelings of it, go back and listen to our Refuse to Lose special. We also have G Banks from the Impact recap show on there to bring some humor to proceedings. You can find the link on screen somewhere. Click that. Thank you.
Exactly. Now, did they mention during this episode of Loaded that the internet title was going to be defended next week, perhaps? Or am I just dreaming that? I should hope so. I'd like to see it defended soon.
They highlighted it.
Yeah, exactly.
The cool thing about the internet title, too, is the matches will always be free. So even if one of the matches is on pay-per-view, it'll be on the next episode of Loaded if you haven't paid for the pay-per-view. That's very cool. That's a very cool concept. I like that. That's the Eric Bischoff, Adam Patchitti concept.
Available on the internet for the world of the internet to appreciate. Yeah.
And if you haven't subscribed, and we don't work for them, we're not sponsored by them, nothing at all. But if you haven't subscribed to What Culture Extra, you really should support What Culture Wrestling. And not only that, you get the shows in their entirety, not broken up.
Yeah.
They actually feel like proper shows.
Yeah, it's good.
It works really, really well. And I prefer watching it. Yeah, ad-free and all that. So I prefer watching it that way.
Exactly. Well, we just about ended this episode of Loaded there after that recap match, like I said. And we ended with Adam Patchitti backstage, still going through all his adoring fan comments on Twitter. And then he's approached by Big Damo. Patchitti, promptly reminds him, "Look, you're fired. Bugger off. Isn't much. What do we have to talk about?" And then Damo
begs like a heel,
gives him an offer. He said, "What can I do for you? You're a businessman. There's got to be something I can do for you."
And then he did the heel GM thing and closed the door.
And a deal was struck.
Yeah. So we'll see where that leads in the next episode of Loaded.
And that was it.
That's it.
Yeah, quite a shorter match for new content, as it were.
Yeah, only because we've seen Refuse to Lose. If you hadn't seen it, it's a brilliant show. But we've seen Refuse to Lose, so really for us, it was quite a short episode. For you guys, it'll be a lot longer, and there'll be a lot more content there for you. So make sure you check it all out.
Exactly. No, I thought this was a good episode following such a big, phenomenal internet pay-per-view. Recapped it and it established clear next steps with the tag team championships, and I'm pretty sure the internet title as well. But
awesome. And I'm giving performers of the night to James R. Kennedy and Prospect, holding double duty in the night, playing Los Prospectiva and Prospect. They held the whole show together. It was all about them this episode.
It was.
They did some great promo work. I really enjoy their performances. The whole roll into the ring, lucha style. It's cute. Come on. They're a great flashback to the comedy performers of old.
Exactly.
And I really enjoyed. So definitely performers of the night, Archer, Gracie, Drake, James R. Kennedy. Awesome job, boys. That was so much fun. Really enjoyed it. And thank you for holding this episode together and really putting the story thread through the entire episode.
That's it. I'm looking forward to more Loaded. We'll see you next time for the recap of episode 13. And let's hope that it is on this coming weekend. Yeah.
Adventure, excitement. A Stooge craves not these things. Welcome to the Stooge Revolution. We'll see you next week.